Comment apprendre le français sans parler aux gens? Ça, c'est le sujet d'aujourd'hui. Un petit background. Moi, j'ai commencé à apprendre français il y a 10 ans. J'ai commencé à l'école secondaire parce que c'était un choix entre allemand et français. Et ma première choix était allemand. Mais mon père m'a dit non, choisis le français parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'opportunités. Mais papa, ils sont où les opportunités? Maintenant, je parle français, mais ils sont où les opportunités? Donc, à l'école secondaire, c'était 4 années d'apprendre français. Après, c'est à 3 ou 4 mois à l'Alliance française. Mais tout ça a été nul parce qu'à ce moment-là, j'étais timide et la confiance m'a manqué. Donc, je n'arrivais jamais à pratiquer ma parole avec les gens. Quand je suis allée à l'université pour mon bachelor et après ça, j'ai fait le travail. Bien évidemment, au Kenya, on parle en anglais et swahili. J'ai oublié tout le français et j'ai recommencé à apprendre quand je suis allée en France pour mon master. C'était quand j'étais en France que j'ai amélioré beaucoup et c'est pas parce que j'ai parlé avec les Français parce que j'avais pas la confiance en moi-même de parler et en plus j'ai souffert de la perfectionnisme. Quand on apprend une autre langue, il faut avoir l'ouverture d'esprit de faire des fautes parce que c'est en faisant des fautes qu'on apprend, qu'on avance. C'était l'année dernière que j'ai remarqué que ça fait plus de 10 ans que je suis toujours en train d'apprendre français, mais je n'arrive pas à avoir la confiance de parler. Mais pourquoi? Et pourquoi je fais ça? Pourquoi je fais ça à moi-même? Naturellement, je suis introvertie, donc c'est un peu plus dur de parler avec les gens, mais ça, c'est pas une bonne excuse, hein? Et j'ai dit à moi-même, je dois faire beaucoup de progrès et si je suis capable aujourd'hui de filmer en français, de parler comme ça, c'est à cause de développer ma confiance et d'utiliser des autres stratégies sans parler pour améliorer mon français. Et ces stratégies, je vais vous partager aujourd'hui si tu veux avancer avec votre français sans parler aux gens, français ou en autre langue, je pense, hein, parce que c'est les mêmes stratégies que j'ai utilisées pour apprendre l'anglais. Alors, oh là, pourquoi? Mais tu fais quoi? Filmer avec beaucoup de bruit, c'est une galère. Maintenant, on passe en mode anglais. The first thing that I actually did for me to actually learn French without speaking was listening to songs. And most of the time you hear people saying listen to songs, but it's not just listening to the songs, it's listening to what is being said in the songs and then trying to actually create a picture in your head. While you're doing this, while you're trying to create these pictures, you start realizing, oh, there are some words in the songs that I actually don't understand what they mean, and then you look for their meaning, and that helps you to create these images. And each and every time you go back to that song, you are building on this image one at a time, and after some time you've created this whole movie in your head while you're listening to the song, which is in French. It really helps your brain to even start thinking in French, because each and every time that you'll be listening to that song, you have this movie that is in French in your head, and that really does go a long way. One of my favorite singers of all time is Charles Aznavour. My goodness, I just love listening to his songs and his voice. One of my favorite songs is La Bohème, and it's actually in that song that I learned about having an empty stomach, le ventre creux, because it's in the song. I'm like, that is so cool. I get to learn new things. And one of the things is, once you actually learn from the songs, you never forget. It just sticks in your head. His voice just carries a lot of nostalgia. It's just amazing. There's a lot of noise around here, but it's just nice. You listen to La Bohème and then go visit the 18th arrondissement in Paris. My goodness. Je vous parle d'un temps que les moins de 20 ne peuvent pas connaître. Mon maton s'entend là, accroché, celui-là jusqu'au sous nos fenêtres, c'est l'homme de gagné. Going up the steps in Montmartre and just going to the Sacré-Cœur, each and every time that I would go there, I would just have La Bohème just playing in my head. Fantastic. It feels so weird to speak in English after I've just spoken in French. My brain is thinking in French. Should I just do the whole video in French? But it's going to be so hard for me to do the subtitles because I'm also editing with my phone. Reading also goes a very long way into just helping you to actually acquire a language, especially subconsciously. And I've actually come to realize that the best way to learn a language is when your subconscious is picking up on the language, not when you are really trying to memorize things. And reading does wonders for your subconscious. And it's not just about reading and you trying to get all the vocabulary. Read to understand. So when you're reading something and then find yourself at a word that you don't understand, instead of just rushing to your dictionary to find out the meaning of the word, read the other sentences and try to find the context of that word. That's one of the best ways of actually starting to understand the language. And one of the things that I really appreciate about France is how they have libraries in the neighborhoods. You can go pick up books from there for free instead of really buying French books that you're not ready to get committed to. And I found that the easiest ones to read are the comics, and they have lots of them because they're really written in a conversational language and they're quite easy to understand. It's not like the novels which have like a complicated language. Oh, there's a whole level that I am not ready to get into for now, but the comics are amazing and the French actually love their comics. One of the other things that I did apart from reading magazines and the comics is poetry, because I love poetry. I also write poetry, so finding some French poetry also helped. And when I went to the museums, because again, I'm someone who loves culture, the museums and the exhibitions, I would ensure that I read the notes that I always left after each and every piece of art or photograph. They would be in English and French. I would always start by reading the ones in French and then try and see whether I understand what has been said, and then I go to the English to actually confirm that what I thought was what the placard said was the right thing. That really contributed a lot into me improving in my spoken French. I also find that writing really helps. Sitting down and writing a recap of your day, or maybe your routine, your morning routine, your makeup routine. Just try to train your mind to remember the things that you've learned. This actually helps you with storytelling. And this goes hand in hand with speaking, because when you're talking to people, it's about storytelling. Anything that comes out of your mouth is storytelling most of the time when you're having a conversation, because you can tell someone, oh, I went somewhere and I saw this and this. That is storytelling. Even if you're telling someone that you don't like your boss at work, that is storytelling. So learning to write, it actually helps your brain to develop that storytelling instinct. And even if you're not speaking to people, you still have to teach yourself how to speak. You need to teach your tongue how to say the words in this new language, because you need to get used to it. And I find that one of my best ways is talking to myself. And it's not a problem, because clearly I'm sitting here, I'm filming myself, I'm very comfortable in front of the camera. It's something I was born with. It's called on-camera presence. So I can speak to myself, and most of the time I speak to myself while walking on the road and people think that I'm crazy. You can pretend to be an influencer and be like, salut les gars, j'espère que vous allez bien. Aujourd'hui, je vous montre ma routine de beauté. Je commence avec un mascara, un eyeliner, un fond de teinte, un rouge de lèvres. You know, just do maybe a 1-minute video on your phone. You don't have to post it anywhere, but you're just training your mouth to get used to this new language. It actually works wonders. To also help with the pronunciation, I would suggest doing some tongue twisters. So just go online and look for some French tongue twisters and try and say them out loud every single day. This is actually something that we used to do back in school when we were learning English and Swahili. It's what the teachers used to make us do. We would stand and do like 50 tongue twisters continuously, and it was une galère, but it really helped with the pronunciation. These are my tongue twisters in French. They're called verlangues. Let me look for one that is always quite hard. Okay, here. Bonjour madame la saucière. Combien vendez-vous ces 6 saucisses là? Je les vends 6 sous, 6 sous ci, 6 sous ça, 6 sous ces 6 saucisses là. And I repeat this like 5 times. It's quite a mouthful, huh? Something else that has really helped me is watching videos of French influencers. This is actually one of the best ways of acquiring the language, because you get to hear how French people speak in real life. I used to be someone who was really good in my classes, and I would get A's in all my French classes. But when I started interacting with French people, I was just like, I don't understand anything they say, yet I got A's in my French classes. And I'm like, the French that you're taught in school is very different from the French that French people actually speaking, or people in French speaking countries are speaking. So the best way to actually acquire, especially subconsciously, how the language is spoken is by watching the videos of people who are speaking the language. My favorite influencers are Lena Situation, one of the most known influencers in France. I love watching video essays, so I watch My Better Self and Crazy Sally a lot. So watching and listening to news does help. Sometimes I watch the France Info live news like in the morning, but most times I like listening or watching the Hugo Decrypt. I think that's how you say his name or his channel name, because it's like 10 minutes of news in French. TikTok is also very perfect in finding video creators who speak French, because you're able to just get a snippet into their daily lives, the sketches about the lives with their parents and with their friends. It's pretty much a platform where you can find anything and learn anything if you want. Those are the strategies that have really helped me to améliorer mon français, et maintenant j'ai la confiance de parler beaucoup de français. But I would actually say that when I went to France, what I really picked out more, speaking English with the French accent, because it is something that I think is very nice. I know that a lot of French people are very insecure with their accent, but I think it's beautiful because having an accent shows your multi-dimensionality, and it is good to celebrate it. I think you can also watch films, but I don't like a lot of French films, but I find that the French reality TV shows are amazing. I love The Circle France. I learned oh la vache, oh ma biche from the show. There's also the show Qui sort on Amazon that is absolutely fantastic. It's actually going to leave you in stitches. A group of comedians are put in one room and they're supposed to make each other laugh, but none of them is supposed to laugh. Canon. C'est le moment de coucher de soleil. Il y a beaucoup de bruit à cause de gens qui jouent de foot. Et je suis épuisée.